Hey, everybody. Welcome into the New England Ski Journal BaseCamp podcast. I'm Mike Specian, your host, with my co-host,
Chip Cook.
Chip Cook. Chip, you have sat in now. This is podcast number 6.
Six. Yes.
Oh, my goodness. Your Spanish is pretty good.
I know. It leads into something we might talk about today.
Yeah, your Spanish is pretty good. I like that. Well, this is number 6. Chip came out of the bullpen to help out because Eric Wilbur went in a different direction, and who was my original podcast host with me. We had David Yass. David, our producer, sit in, did a great job.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for my award for, there's got to be some kind of award I deserve for stepping in with such aplomb. But just being with you guys is a reward to me. So.
Oh, yeah. David, it was fun.
We had all the love you need.
We had a good time. But Chip, your love of the outdoors of skiing has been incredible, bringing just a vibrant type energy to this podcast.
Well, we always laugh, Mike. I mean, and you live by this too. It's about the stoke. And whether it's summertime, wintertime, it's about what kind of gets our smile going. And this has been fun. It got me hiking the other day in Blue Hills. I forgot about some of the things I enjoy doing.
And in this winter, you're going to be hiking Blue Hills or skinning it and making turns, right?
Correct. It's one of those things that I like to do. Is we're going to talk about
We're going to lead into that. Hold on. We just talked about skinning Blue Hills and skiing it. We have had a couple bad years of snow here. I mean, we finished the year strong, but we haven't had a full season of, going to Blue Hills, going to Bradford, because it's been a struggle, especially down here. Did you see in Snowbrains?
Oh, yeah.
What they brought?
They brought it. It's La Nina. Here we go.
Baby, yeah. I mean, La Nina, El Nino is gone.
Thank goodness.
La Nina is here. And what did Snowbrains say about us?
Cold weather, longer snow periods. And one of the things I like to look at, and it's already starting to slowly happen, is people don't realize that Delmarva Peninsula, the birthplace of the nor'easter.
Yeah. A little Delaware, Maryland, Virginia action.
As we see that jet stream slowly slide and those low pressures start to hit that warmer water, that leads us to a little white gold.
Well, just if anybody hasn't pulled up Snowbrains, I'm looking at the screen right now. Huge snowstorms across from Baltimore all the way up through Maine, New Hampshire, my home state, getting dumped. And then we go into Pennsylvania, the Adirondacks, and northern Vermont. Worst of winter. Hopefully worst of winter is a good thing, because worst of winter could mean it's not a winter.
It's all within reason. But we're gonna go back hopefully this year to a winter that we know. I always joke 2-3 inches a week, get the Blue Hills open, get the kids out skiing, let the parents kind of knock some of the cobwebs off and go join the family. We're shaping up for a winter, hopefully.
Boy, I wished last year. My wish was consistency. And, the first half of the winter was consistently bad. The second half of the winter was consistently amazing. 2 weeks ago, we had big snow on. Mm-hmm. Okay? About as consistent as you can get.
Where else can you're going to be able to go make turns every day and have fun?
With the same conditions, same temperature, same everything, controlled. It's like...
It's there.
It's pretty amazing.
It's a snow globe.
Yeah, I mean, what a great way to start out. Well, at this time of year, everything is pretty much south of the Southern Hemisphere. Mm-hmm. Have you been looking at the snow reports down there?
All through Australia, New Zealand, they're starting to see snow, but it's the Southern Hemisphere is waking up. I mean, Portillo, Chile, 20 feet of snow on opening day.
Portillo. So you know, everybody knows that on my screen in the winter, every state is on there because it's a business thing for me. I want to know where the snow is. I pulled up all the major regions in the Southern Hemisphere to see what was going on. I mean, Australia's doing okay. New Zealand's doing okay. Argentina is doing okay. But then I knew the snow was at Portillo. Chile owns it this year.
They really do. I mean, when you look at those numbers and you sent them over to me, I mean, I think it's 75-inch. It was 50 to 75-inch base. You know, what resort would not kill to have that as your base? And that's not counting what's occasionally coming down. They're only adding to that right now. It is, I mean, that's approaching Utah stuff.
Well, they're open till the end of September, I think it is.
Yep.
Okay, the end of September. So we have 2 solid months, and we all know. Look, at least we know it here. The best skiing's always in the last half of the season when the base is deep and every bit of snow just adds to it rather than making a base.
Sorry. No, and that's the thing. You get those little bit of the longer days. You get a little warmer weather. Who doesn't want to ski in the springtime?
Well, I'm a corn snow fan, and Eric Wilbur and I always used to joke because we'd talk about the white ribbon of death, early season skiing, and he was like, "No, I can't do it." And then he went to Stowe for the first day for the white ribbon of death, and Portillo. In all honesty, they fully opened with all lifts. There wasn't any white ribbon of death. It was friggin' great skiing from day one.
No, and that's one of the things you generally hear down there is just an explosion of snow. Something we all hope for. It's not man-made, not run by a gun, but their biggest concern is being able to open the chairlifts opening day.
I'm impressed. Let's put it that way. I have never been there, folks. This is the first podcast for the base camp that is the ski area I have not been to, which is unheard of. But
I'm a little excited I stumped you, Mike.
You stumped me. I'm going to thank Chip for doing this one because, I hate not going someplace. So it's on the radar screen now. But coming up next, joining us they're actually in Aspen, Colorado. They work for Portillo, Chile. Maureen Poshman and Carol Breen. They are marketing and PR managers for the English-speaking markets for Portillo, Chile. That will be next on the BaseCamp podcast. The Button Ski Hanger is a patented ski storage fixture that safely stores alpine skis regardless of length, width, or shape. This means that your fat powder skis can now be stored next to your narrower carving skis, your race skis, and your kid skis. For more information, visit their website, buttonskirack.com. The Button Ski Hanger is also available for purchase at amazon.com. So make your purchase today. The Button Ski Hanger is simply better for your skis.
Welcome, Maureen, Carol. How are you today?
We're great. Thank you.
Good, thanks.
Well, I got to tell you, we're pretty excited to be talking about something in the summertime that very few skiers kind of think about, and we're going to talk about Portillo, Chile. It's middle of winter down there, and can you talk about what's going on or what's happening in the area?
So our season started the last week of June, and we're off to a great start. We had over 20 feet of snow, so everything's underway, welcoming guests from around the world and from the US, escaping the heat to a little bit of skiing in South America. We're located 2 hours away from Santiago, and our season will run until September.
Now, that's a pretty exciting thing that's happening down there, that 20 feet of snow to start the season. I mean, we ended the season here with quite a bang between Colorado, New England, but to start a season with 20 feet, I mean, what kind of impact did that have for the resort?
It's had a huge impact on the resort. A lot of interest. Our season is extremely busy. where, people are just having amazing skiing and skiing runs that haven't been skied for years. So it's really incredible.
That is amazing. First off, for us to talk skiing here in New England in the summer is fun. 2 weeks ago, we had big snow, the Meadowlands, indoor skiing, which is year round. It was kind of neat because we're back in the winter mode. Now we're talking Portillo. What I will take or say is the spot people think about when they think about summer skiing. This is the first podcast in about 70. I think it's about 70 that I've done for New England Ski Journal. This is the first podcast where we are going someplace that I have never been.
I finally got him.
Yeah, he finally got me. I mean, we've been all over the country, but you guys win. The ski season here in North America really just ended with a huge bang. I mean, we struggled. You guys started off strong. We struggled everywhere. I don't care if it was Utah, Colorado, even Mammoth struggled early. It looks like yours was incredible. Opening day, your lift system was almost 100% open? And go ahead.
No, I mean, yeah, we were almost 100% open, and really it was just a matter of getting everything open with all that snow. So we actually had to delay our opening because there was so much snow. So it was the opposite of what you had in North America this year, people delaying or not opening slopes. We were in the opposite situation where we had a lot of snow that had to be prepared in order to open the season.
That's, you know what? I want both ends of the spectrum for a change, please. Well, how are conditions right now?
Conditions continue to be great. When we talk to people and everybody is just saying it's skiing fabulously and everyone's having an incredible time. As you can see from the picture here, Portillo does tend to have brilliant blue skies and sunshine, but we have such an incredible base. So if there's, you're getting to have the perfect experience, snow and sun. So we're looking to, and when Carol said we're open till September, we're open till the end of September. And we do still have reservations available in September. Until then, we're pretty tight. There might be an occasional week that we could get somebody in or a couple of rooms in, but for the most part, we're full. So
with all this snow, reservations have just been pouring in. So we're excited to have a pretty full season. But we'll be skiing, through September.
Well, what you just said with all the snow, it's same thing in New England, same thing in Colorado. The economy is one thing. When there's snow, the skier shows up. Can one of you give us an overview about how big Portillo is? How many lifts, how many trails?
So we've got 14 lifts, but a lot of our trails, it's a bit hard to quantify because we have these large off-piste areas where you can look at the trail numbers and it might only look like 30 trails, but we're talking about miles and miles of terrain. So when you look at the Portillo map, it actually skis a lot bigger than it looks by the numbers, right? A lot of the peaks surrounding the area go up past 14,000 feet, and you can access terrain past our lifts by boot packing or touring. So it really skis a lot bigger than it looks. And we have terrain, for, let's say 50% of our terrain is going to be advanced and expert, and then 50% intermediate and beginner.
Right. And obviously we are located above tree line. And so again, like a trail is a big, wide, one run could be a big, huge, wide area. And a lot of the off-piste terrain that Carol's referencing is also just accessible by traversing. For example, the lake run, which is a big, huge area, you don't have to boot pack or anything. You can just, glide across into a open area, and it's a huge area. So it's different than maybe with the tree-lined slopes in most of North America.
Mm-hmm. Now, I know I was telling Mike I was fortunate in 2002 and 2007 to visit the resort. And the thing that really took me back was, I don't want to compare it to Europe, but it is massive. And my wife and I have recently been talking. It's such a unique experience to be able to ski during the summer months, especially here in New England. We don't think this time of year about snow, but I remember the hotel, the blue and the yellow, in Laguna de Inca, or Del Inca, excuse me. I probably butchered that one, but the lake, it was breathtaking. I'm sure a lot has changed a little bit since I was there. I know there's a heli operation now. I mean, there is so much accessible terrain for a
Right.
week of skiing, almost to the point where you might need to take some time off.
Well, yeah, definitely. It is a great area. We definitely recommend that you should either take ski school. We have an incredible ski school and the professors are bilingual. Many of them come from North America and Europe. They teach here up here in our winter and in Portillo in their season. But it is massive. The great thing about Portillo is some things changed, like we renovated all the guest rooms in the hotel, and we've done a lot of sustainability, like getting rid of all plastic in the hotel, but many things stay the same, and so there isn't development. It's not like what you see in a lot of resorts that things are being developed and there are condos and this and that. It really is kind of a step back in time in the best of ways.
And I like that you mentioned it's a step back in time, because I think a lot of people don't realize Portillo has been around for a very long time, almost dating back to the 30s. It's heritage comes with the railroads, as I remember, coming up through there, and then the resort kind of popped up as a hut, and it is steeped in history.
It is. We're actually celebrating our 75th anniversary this season.
Oh
So
my goodness.
yeah, so that's a big deal. And we are going to have every week sort of have we have a welcome cocktail on Sunday night, but we'll sort of be celebrating the 75th every week that people are there.
So what week is that? Do you know? What week are you celebrating the 75th?
No, yeah.
We'll be celebrating the whole all season long. We've got different activities and events for guests throughout the season, starting with like our welcome cocktail, which is every Sunday. We welcome guests to get together in the hotel, kind of as a start of their ski week. So we'll be celebrating throughout the whole season, and kind of speaking to what you guys were saying about Portillo changing. A big reason of why our guests continue to come year after year is because of how little it changes, and we have employees and guests that have been with us for over 50 years. So we're looking forward to celebrating all that history with them.
Oh, that is awesome. Well, this Sunday night, I'm going to, when I make my dark and stormy, I'm going to be toasting you guys for the 75th. We had the Stowe Ski Patrol on for their anniversary this year. We had Mad River on for their anniversary. I mean, when I look at these iconic places that have survived, we have issues with climate and stuff right now, but they're still thriving and surviving, which is awesome. Well, like Taos, New Mexico has its own culture, different than Aspen or Breckenridge. And Val d'Isère, Europe, the French Alps is much different. What's the culture like down there?
Well, I mean, the culture is definitely about skiing, but also about sort of being together with people and sharing your kind of passion and love for skiing in the mountains. But it kind of has a different rhythm that I think you might find in North America. People are pretty relaxed. You have it's so easy. It is a completely hassle-free experience because you're staying in the hotel. You go, down the elevator, stairs for breakfast, change, go down the stairs to get your boots in the boot room, and the boot guy knows after the first time you go, he remembers you when he gets your boots. We don't know how he does it. And then you pick your skis up from the ski check and you walk out and you're literally on the slopes. Like, it just is so easy. It's great for families, when you're being a mother and having dealt with that hassle of taking kids and all the equipment and everything and the mittens and this and that. It's so easy. And you go out and ski. Oh, I want to go take off a layer or add a layer. It's so easy. So everything about it is very relaxed and very much about just enjoyment and I think love of the sport. And yeah, go ahead.
You know, most people ski till about 12 or 1, come into the hotel, have a long 2-hour lunch or lunch on the mountain with some wine. It's very much, I think, has the Chilean culture infused into the experience. Where, yeah, it's you have a long ski day. Our slopes are open from 9 to 5, so you can really just take your time. There's not a rush of trying to beat the crowds. There are no crowds. It's your private little resort, so you can really, yeah, just enjoy it the way you want to.
Yeah, we do only have, 450 guests maximum staying at the hotel. We sell some day tickets, but we're located farther away from Santiago than other resorts. So we have fewer day skiers and there literally are no crowds on the slopes. It's magical.
So it's a little bit different than skiing at epic resorts here in the States when there's a snowstorm and all of a sudden you go, oh my goodness, the lift line. I like this idea.
It's quite the opposite, really. And there's no town there. It's the resort. So life is around skiing, and it's for the guests that are there for that week.
I almost joke. I remember it was like an adult campground a little bit. It's right there, and I love that you talked about the culture. It is a little bit slower. I was fortunate to spend some time in Europe as well skiing, and there is relaxed atmosphere, but there is a lot of push and a lot of hustle and bustle. And one of the things that I absolutely loved was just that 2-hour lunch or that laid back, and the culture is different than I think a lot of people have experienced in the ski industry, because it is that true Chilean mindset of like, here it comes, and you just take the day as it goes. But I'm also glad you talked a little bit about the boot guy. For a lot of our listeners, I mean, it can be a daunting task. Do they need to bring their equipment? Should they? I mean, I know you have the ski school, which is phenomenal. Right. Can they just pack their bags and go?
Yeah. I mean, I would say that most guests bring their boots because most of our guests are skiers of one level or, they might be intermediate, but we have boot rental, we have great ski rental, premium skis. We've really upgraded through the years. So even when you were there, maybe the skis weren't as high level as they are now. So we have a great ski tuning and ski rental. So you don't have to bring your ski clothes, but we have great rental equipment.
That's good news, because my last trip I had 3 surfboards, 4 sets of skis, and it was a long trip trying to get that through the airport.
Well, the old days of traveling with skis are gone. You can no longer travel with 3 pairs of skis and afford it. You might as well buy another plane ticket because that's what you're doing. And that's why I think having quality equipment when you get somewhere, whether it be Aspen, whether it be Portillo, it doesn't matter.
Yep, I think you're right.
And I know you guys are situated in Aspen, and I have a long history there, but that is one of the things so many people don't realize. Portillo is a top-notch resort. That is the thing. It will rival the Aspens, the Val d'Isères, the Vales of it. It's
very
such
much so. Yeah.
It's very, very high end with a very low key attitude.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. Doesn't have a preciousness, but it has incredible grooming and again, incredible ski instructors, great patrollers. And in the hotel and everywhere, you have a very high level experience. We are owned and managed by the Purcell family. Henry Purcell has been there since 1963. And, he was trained in the US, went to hotel school here, and the culture really is about service and about just making the experience kind of perfect.
That's, you go back to Warren Miller films. Carol, you might not be old enough to remember this, okay? But
I know them.
Okay, but you look at the Warren Miller films, and they were always in Portillo, and you sat there and watched it every fall going, wow, that's amazing. And it's different, but it's not that far away. It really isn't.
Well, the nice thing is you're basically in the US time zone, right? So for North Americans, it's so easy. You hop on a plane, you're in Santiago 9 hours later, but you're on almost the same time zone. So you don't have any jet lag. It's an overnight flight. You're whisked away to the resort, which is 2 hours, and then you're just there. So you're right. It's far away, but not at the same time. Pretty easy.
Well, because Chip's been there and I have not, I've got to ask a couple questions here. First off, elevations, because we know if you fly from Boston into Utah, they don't have the elevation of a Colorado. Okay. And secondly, snow quality. We fly out to, say, Crystal Mountain out in Washington. We might have very heavy snow because of the coastal effect. We fly into Utah, it's super, super dry. We go to Colorado, it could be either or at times. And then New England, well, we're going to leave New England out of that equation because it's either ice or great. What's the snow conditions and stuff out there and the elevation?
Yeah, so the base is at 9,450 feet. So that's where the hotel is based. So we do recommend people adjust to altitude, drink enough water, all of that upon arriving.
Maybe don't have a pisco sour or 2 or 3 the night you arrive.
Real. I'm out.
And then the snow conditions, we'd say it's a mix between like intermountain and with a little bit of a coastal effect. We are close to the Pacific Ocean. Chile is a very narrow country. The ocean's about a 2-hour drive away, but it's not, it would be about a combination. So close to maybe some of what California sees, not as light as Colorado. We get these intense, snowstorms that deliver several feet of snow, but it still has that powder feel to it, right? So it's not the super light Colorado and Champagne powder, but also not dense Sierra cement. So somewhere in between there, if that makes sense.
No, it does. So more like a Schweitzer, more like a whitefish, because that's what they are. Good. And that's interesting because once again, I haven't been there and I've had 2 opportunities, which is wrong.
I would put it in its own category, and that's why you have to go there. It's like trying to describe Japan powder. It doesn't really compare to anything in the US. It's its own thing. I would say Chilean snow, it's also its own thing.
Gotcha.
And it's diverse. I know the ski team comes up in September, and the snow quality is perfect for preseason training before they head to Europe. I also know Chris Davenport just announced his Steep and Deep camp there. So it's a mixture. Like it has a little bit of everything. For me, I was there during some speed skiing events. It's fast, it's good, it's well groomed. But then you get off piste and it's as scary as Alaska. As big as you want to go, as small as you want to go. I prefer to go little, but it is so diverse. Like in talking about conditions, you have everything. You can ski anything you kind of want.
And it depends when you go as well. Conditions are going to be different in June versus, July, August, and then September is more spring skiing, corn skiing. So yeah, it definitely varies a lot.
So with that being said, your season runs through September. What's closing date this year?
September 28th.
28th, okay.
And now going back one thing too, though, we've talked a lot about the things Mike and I like. Now for a family coming there, I know, you touched on the ski school. Probably one of the things that's really changed a lot since I was last there is I've seen a huge growth in the ski school that you have, and there's quite a bit for a family to go. I mean, this would be a phenomenal family ski vacation.
It's a great family ski vacation, and I have gone with my kids. I think the first time was when they were 2. And then pretty much like every other year. So I've experienced being there with, toddlers. We have for little people with small kids, it's so great. It's a great place to learn to ski. We have a really good kids ski school. And for small kids, we have the, I can't think what it's called, like childcare. And it's free, isn't it?
Yes.
Complimentary childcare for little kids. But then if you're like a skiing family and say your kids are starting to ski race, what a great thing to give them that leg up to be able to go to Portillo and ski for a week and get that under, that time on the snow. I think you can't, you're doing the same thing that the US ski team does, right? You're getting some time in the summer on the slopes. So we see a lot of families with, kids who are 10, 12, 14 that are that want to, that are racing, whether it's recreational or more intense. So we have families of all ages.
And families, yeah, with little kids as well. Our kids camp, takes kids as young as 3 years old. And they can take lessons while the parents go out and explore the mountain. And then after the lesson, they can just be dropped off right at the daycare if the parents want to keep skiing. So it's very simple, very straightforward. The kids are also contained to life in the hotel. We have tons of activities for them. They can run around. They're not going to get lost. There's not, it makes it very simple for parents.
Yeah, after skiing, we have a huge heated pool and 2 giant hot tubs, and that's a great thing for, anybody, but kids love it, of course. And then we have a gym. We often have soccer in the afternoon and evenings. There'll be pickup soccer games. And then we have a game room that has everything from a climbing wall, and we'll have guides to help the climbing wall and pool, ping pong,
foosball,
black
line, tons of activities.
Yeah. So really, when my kids were about 5 or 6 on, I didn't see them. Like they would, I'd be like, well, come to dinner at this time. And besides that, they would find kids in the hotel and they would all just kind of hang out.
And international kids,
Yeah.
which is even better.
Yeah.
So it's not your own little peeps, it's getting culture from elsewhere.
Oh yeah, they're like playing soccer with little kids from Brazil and then making friends from Argentina at dinner. It's very diverse, very fun for kids.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, you know what? Skiing's all well and important and everything else, but food and drink are equally as important. Otherwise, what's the food like? What's the favorite drink down there for a libation?
Well, I mean, the food is amazing, and every night in the dining room, what they do is there are 3 different, let's say at dinner, same for lunch. There'll be 3 appetizers and then 3 main courses, and you can pick what you want from those. And there'll always be a meat or chicken dish, a fish dish, and a vegetarian dish. We have a lot of people who eat vegetarian when they're there. And then if you don't want one of the specials, you can always just get a burger, a pasta, steak, something else off the menu. So there are sort of things that you can order any night, but really the special dishes are fabulous. Chile has such a long coastline that the variety of seafood that you get is kind of amazing. And there are things that you might not even have in North America. So that's really fun. And obviously Chilean wine. Chilean's known for its vineyards. And Portillo, you can almost do a deep dive into Chilean wines. We have so many wineries represented on our wine list, from, the big vineyards like in Errázuriz to little tiny boutique vineyards that you can't even get the wine in the US. So that's really fun. And yes, the signature Chilean drink, there's always this debate of whether it's Peruvian or Chilean, is the pisco sour. And so, that's always really fun to have. And we have a great bar in Portillo also. So people tend to go there before dinner, and after dinner, we have live bands every night. So, the rhythm of the day includes sort of our nightlife is very specific, but it's very your laughing ship. So you definitely took advantage of that. And then the disco is open till 3 a.m. I have to say that I'm not very often up until 3 a.m, but I have been there.
Yeah, it'll happen occasionally. We call it jet lag. It just happened to be up. So
Hey, Chip, I'm old. It doesn't happen anymore.
You haven't been down there yet, Mike.
It does.
A couple pisco sours in, you'll be there.
He'd be right there.
Especially, I'm thinking all the wines. I'm going, oh my God, that's called hydration to me.
Yeah.
So, one thing, and probably to help some of our listeners, traveling to Chile, do they need to get a visa? What's the process for a U.S. citizen coming down? And I think this is important because, Europe will probably be changing sometime soon, and I think it's a little bit easier to head this direction.
It's a very, very easy trip to plan. There's no visa required to travel to Chile. Basically, after guests have booked their Portillo ski week, right? So it's a Saturday to Saturday ski week that includes your lift tickets, your lodging, and your meals. So that's already all planned. You just need to book your flights, and then transportation, which can also be booked with us. So we can arrange transportation for guests from the airport to Portillo. And then it's all set. So very, very straightforward trip to plan. Nothing else needed.
That's perfect, because that's one of the things, especially if you're traveling with a family, to know, get on the plane, get off the plane, meet the bus, head to the resort. That's a big bonus. And then to know the resort is enclosed, that everything is right there that you need.
Right, and it's all all inclusive. So your meals are included, your lift tickets, your lodging, you pay extra for ski school or for your cocktails. But really, it's quite easy, and you can sign for everything. You don't need to even exchange money. So, and we meet you, the Portillo guys meet you right outside of the of immigration customs. So it's super easy. You can take a private transfer if you want, or you can get on the bus. There's different prices. So, but either way, it's just it again, I feel like it's pretty hassle-free.
That's amazing. So you've almost got my perfect month-long vacation planned for me. Fly into Portillo, ski fresh snow for a week, wine and dine with great wines. Fly from there into Costa Rica, surf for the week, and then go up to Bonaire and windsurf, which is my full passion. I mean, what's wrong with that?
There you go.
Would you like my wife's number to give her a call?
There you go.
This should, yeah, exactly.
Sign you up.
So you fly into Santiago. What airlines fly in there?
There are flights with United, Delta, and American Airlines.
Okay,
From
so
all of the major U.S. cities.
And also LATAM, which is the Chilean airline.
perfect. That's great.
Now, one of the things that I always like to touch on for folks is it is a lot of people are going to go, wow, that's a long trip down there. Now, both of you are in Colorado. Mike's traveled. One of the things I point out and what I kind of enjoy about this, like if we left Boston, I think there's one direct flight. A lot of times you have to land in Miami. But if I was to fly into Denver and there's a storm on I-70, it could be a 12-hour trip before I get up to Aspen, or it could even be a 2-day trip before I get to Aspen. The weather flying into Santiago is relatively clear. Like my few times going to South America, when the plane's up, you're going. And there's not that many delays if I kind of did my research correct going into Santiago. So like when you leave, you're going. In the summertime here is a good time to leave because we have very few delays during the summer months.
That's a good point. Yeah. Sometimes we do sometimes have issues where the road between Santiago and Portillo, especially as you get high in the mountains, can be a challenge, but we deal with it. We communicate with people and we try to get around that as much as possible.
And that ride is as beautiful as any I've ever been on.
Oh, it's
up
gorgeous.
to the mountains.
What is the travel time from the airport to the resort?
About 2.5 hours.
Okay.
Yeah. And then some of the delays Maureen was talking about will be if there's a big snowstorm coming.
Right.
Sure.
After a snowstorm, the road has to get cleared. We don't have control over the road management, but we always communicate with guests and try to get them either in before the storm or out in time. But yeah, the airport's very reliable, and then transportation with us is always the best way to go because of these potential road issues now and then.
Right.
Sure, but I can only imagine, sort of like at Alta, when the storm rolls in and they close the canyon and you're stuck up there, you get everything when it opens up. Hey, quick question. With that being said, an Alta type question, what's the avalanche situation and so on in the Andes?
Yeah, so we have, a lot of our terrain is avalanche prone, as most steep terrain is. We have a great team, snow safety team led by Frank Coffey, who was at Crested Butte for many years, who does all of the avalanche control through heli bombing, but also ski cutting, making sure that all of the terrain is safe before anything's open. So after a storm, it'll usually take them a couple hours to, do all the avalanche work, and we need clear skies to be able to heli bomb some of this higher terrain. But whatever's open is only open if it's safe. That's our main priority always.
Sure.
Now, in the oddball case that you actually did get bored skiing in bounds at Portillo, you do have a heli option, if I remember reading correctly.
Yeah, certainly we do. Obviously that's always weather dependent. We need to have the right conditions to be able to fly, but there's amazing heli-skiing terrain around Portillo that is available for the guests.
And we also do just heli tours. So if say you're an intermediate skier, you're not ready to heli ski yet, you can go up and just do this incredible tour and see Aconcagua and all the mountains of the Andes. And it's a beautiful trip, even just for that. I actually ended up doing a sightseeing trip last season, and I had forgotten how stunning it is. I have heli ski before. And that's a great option also, because you can go and do just 1 or 2 runs. So it's a great thing for somebody who wants to try heli skiing, but maybe isn't ready for the price of a heli trip.
Exactly. It's quite different than most heli operations where you have to commit to a whole week of heli skiing, right? Or a full day. We do offer the option to just go for a few runs or just one day. Yeah.
Well, anybody that hasn't been off a helicopter and skied, it is a incredible experience. There's nothing like it, except when the cloud covers are over and you sit in the lodge, you can't go. So,
right.
That's where there's a ski area to go with it. So before you guys came on, Chip and I went through the Southern Hemisphere to see where the snow was good. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you guys know this or not. Best snow in the Southern Hemisphere is in Portillo right now.
Okay, we believe it.
You outdistance Argentina, New Zealand, and Australia right now. Okay. So you guys have the cream of the crop. I don't even know. It's like being at Mammoth, not last year, but the year before. They had more snow than anybody for a reason. But congratulations on a great snow year.
Thank you. Well, we hope everybody comes and gets down to Portillo. Once you try it, you're going to want to go back. So
we love it. Well, Maureen and Carol, I want to thank you for coming on. You just whet my appetite in a big way. It's out of the 140 skiers I've skied in my life, I have not been to Portillo.
Okay, and let's add that to the list.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming in and talking about the resort, and a little hidden gem there.
It is indeed.
Well, that was, hold on. We're going to put it on hold here for a second.
Don't worry. Take
Okay.
And don't leave the screen afterwards, Maureen and Carol, please.
Okay.
Hold on. All right. That was Maureen Poshman and Carol Breen from Portillo, Chile. We'll be right back. Chip and I'll be here to wrap it up in a couple minutes.
If you want to be inspired and informed on everything about the New England ski and outdoor scene, then you need to check out skijournal.com. Skijournal.com delivers daily content on breaking industry news, tips, gear, dining, travel, entertainment, as well as all archived episodes of the Emmy-nominated New England Ski Journal TV show and the BaseCamp podcast. And don't forget to subscribe to New England Ski Journal, the longest-running regional ski magazine in the country. New England Ski Journal's award-winning writers and photographers bring all 4 seasons to your door with best-in-class coverage on skiing and the outdoors. Log on to skijournal.com and click on the subscribe button to get New England Ski Journal mailed to you today. New England Ski Journal is a Siemens Media publication. Siemens Media. Inspiring. Informative. Insightful.
So, Mike, we we've talked about this resort. I know you haven't been. You just heard all about it. What are your thoughts?
You can't see the drool. I mean, come on, Chip. You can't see the drool down the side of my face? No, look, I have actually, and I can honestly say this, I've had 2 offers to go down there with everything but plane fare. And everybody listening to this podcast is going, are you kidding me? It was a different time when those offers were there. You know, the plane ticket at that point was, boy, I don't know if we can afford it. We're a single income family. But, you know, it is amazing. I go back to, you know, I mentioned Warren Miller. I go back to the Warren Miller films, watching that segment of Portillo, which was always in there, going, wow, that's amazing.
It's very, very special area, and I can't touch enough that, you know, it's a long trip, but it's worth it. It's it's a lot easier than probably even going to Disney World. You know, some people might go, well, it's South America and it's a long flight, but like Maureen and Carol talked on, it's all inclusive. Once you step off that plane, they pick you up. You're at the resort. Everything you need is right there. They stamp your passport. You're good for 90 days. There's very little you have to do except for wake up the next day and go skiing. And it's unfiltered. You know, I've spent a lot of time in Europe and out west, and this is an area that's still almost a little unspoiled.
Unspoiled. Unepicified. That's what I'm going to say. And not that the Epic Pass is bad, folks. It's just, I like low-key, great skiing, quietness. My days of having to be with a bunch of people are long gone. But I think the other thing that would be absolutely cool, if you're flying down there, Santiago, Valle Nevado isn't that far.
No.
I mean, why not go in for a week into Portillo and spend a weekend afterwards in Valle Nevado? And, you know, Americans are so welcome down there. It's, you know.
My last trip was over a month long, and that's it. Once you get...
Did you work?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Maybe. But once you get caught up in the culture, it's phenomenal. And it's just that. I think there's, I don't want to say a stigma, but people go South America and kind of brush it off. But services, everything you need is there. But the people are some of the friendliest I've ever encountered. It's just, that whole region is just like a big warm hug. And, you know, it's not without its headaches here and there, but it's worth the trip. And you nailed it. Like, you leave yourself some time, or like Maureen and Carol said, you know, return and do the adventures that are all around that area. But it's a relatively easy trip it reaps a benefit that you can't even put into words.
See, so much of what you just said, you can have the Disney worlds, the cruise ships of the world. I have no desire on any of them. I mean,
it's family owned.
Right. It's still family owned.
Still family owned.
But I'll tell you what, a holistic, and when I say holistic, it doesn't mean that creature comforts are missing, but a holistic view of the mountains where you get everything you'd want maybe on a high-end cruise ship, but with the beauty of an unspoiled terrain and territory. I mean, I want to go to Argentina now too.
Yeah,
it's
why not? And that's what I tell so many people. Why not? You know, we all get so uber focused on just Vail, Aspen, Crescent Butte, where I'm going here, and you get caught up in that hustle and bustle. And I've been through DIA, and it feels like getting on the subway. You know, you get off at Santiago, get in a bus, and you get to a resort that's probably got millions of untouched acres, accessible whether it's through skinning, heli, chairlift, and be with only a certain amount of people. You want to talk about destination, something that's special, Portillo.
Well, I am so stoked, folks, that these last 2 episodes, we're in the middle of a hot summer here in New England.
But we got winter.
But we have talked winter these last 2 podcasts. It has been so much fun. Get out there, look at other options other than just the cruise ship. Take your girlfriend, take your wife, go enjoy it, because there are spas and stuff there. There's massages. Go enjoy it.
That's the thing. Think outside the box. Why take the winter vacation when you can easily just walk through the airport during the summer months?
Exactly. And David, Maureen gave us where they can book. Anybody that's still interested in getting down there in September?
Yeah, just check the show notes for all kinds of information, all the links you need.
Fantastic. So look at the show notes. Thank you, David. And that'll be it for this episode of the BaseCamp podcast. Chip, I want to thank you for your 6 episodes, and hopefully you'll be in the bullpen for us if we need you.
I like to sit back in the twilight, but I won't be gone for long. I'm sure you might have a little guest appearance here or there.
I love it. And as a parting word, go Sox. We'll see y'all later.
Thank you.
New England Ski Journal's BaseCamp is a Siemens Media podcast. Siemens Media. Inspiring, informative, insightful.